Good God, I need a haircut. Where'd you get one in lockdown though? Could be a shave it all off job. What's happening, guys? Dan Debenham here. When somebody says to me, can you just mask that out? Oh, the fear. Oh, it's going to take ages. Well, I'm here to show you a way that you can do it in a really easy manner, quick, and sort of like without all the hard work that comes along with masking intricate and complex shapes out. So, without further ado, let's dive into Premiere Pro. Let's have a look how we do it. Okay, so now that we're into Premiere Pro, let's get started. So we're going to drag our clip onto our timeline like so. I'm just going to put it into a position where we can see what we're doing. And I'm going to delete the sound, so because we don't need the sound at all. The next thing that we need to do once we've got our clip on our timeline is get some text in there. So let's click on there and let's sort out putting some text on. So let's have some text on there as well, which is looking pretty cool. Okay, let's get that looking a little bit bigger so we can actually see what's happening with it. Let's make that even bigger. Come on, that'll do. That's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So what we can do now is just move that into place. So we want it so that this whole thing sort of sits a little bit lower. That'd be fantastic. We'll just leave that there like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to extend this out so that it fits across the entire clip, because we want it to fit across the entire clip. We don't want it to be in any way altered, so it fits across everything. Next thing we need to do is I need to copy our video layer, because we need two of them. So I'll copy that and I'll just paste it. I'll paste that into place. Incidentally, if you want to be able to paste into a particular video layer, you just need to uncheck whichever video layers are operational other than the one that you want it to go into. So if I wanted to do V2, for instance, I'd just leave V2 clicked. If I want to do V3, I'll leave V3 clicked. And we're off we go. So now what we've got is we've got a video layer, copy the text, and then the video layer, the original. I'm going to rename this layer. I'm just going to rename it so that that makes it easier for me. So I'm going to call this MC just so that I know what I'm looking for when I start to use some of the effects. Now, we need to now make that text appear, so let's get some text appearance ability. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go to our effects panel, and then we're going to type in here matte. Because it's a matte that we're going to use, we're not using a mask to do this. We're not going to mask around each individual bit using points. We're going to use a matte in order to be able to sort it out. And that will then allow this whole thing to show from behind the bush and the woman and the edges and all the rest of it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get set matte, and we're going to drop set matte onto the MC layer like so. And then you get some options, so you can see take matte from video layer 3, yes, alpha channel, yes, that's what we want. We're going to leave all that as it is because that's all fine and we're happy with that. And then we're going to go to track matte key, and we're going to drag that onto our yoga. Our yoga mat here is setting it to video 3, so we want to do that, which is brilliant. Now we can see we've got matte, composite using, and reverse. We don't want reverse. We want it to be a matte luma in the composite using, because we're not alpha, we want to use luma. So we're going to set that to luma, and we're going to make sure the matte is set to video 3, which is what ours is on. Yours could be video 5 or whatever it is that you've laid that top layer of video onto. Now, as you can see, it's sort of see-through, and that's because the matte is looking for the dark and light areas. So this effect works particularly well if the video is of a contrasting nature. And we've been quite lucky here. I say lucky, I picked this clip specifically to show you how to do this in the most simplistic of ways. This whole clip has got massive amounts of contrast in the foreground and it has in the background. So the matte finds it very easy to pick out what it is looking for, in a sense, with these bushes and the little leaves and the woman's arms and the head and etc., and the hair and what have you, and the ground along behind it. Because the sky and the foreground are completely different colours, it makes it look brilliant and it makes it easy for us to do. You can still do it on any other clip. It doesn't necessarily have to all be black like this is. It just needs to make sure that there is a bit more contrast to the foreground or background, or whichever way around you wanted to do things. In our case, usually in this it's going to be foreground needs to be slightly more contrasty than the background. So we aren't finished yet, because obviously we don't want that to be see-through completely. So what we need to do now is we need to click on our effects tab again, and we need to type in threshold. Now threshold will come in, that's cool, okay. And before we do that, let's just check where we are with what we're doing. We've got set matte in there, that's cool, and we've got that in there, that's cool, okay. So we're going to click on our video 3 and we're going to drag threshold in, and we're going to drop that on like so. And then we're going to make sure that threshold is above, so let's just click down on the set matte. The threshold is above the set matte like so. And then we can play with that, and we can make it so that the matte will show through what we want it to show through. And we want to get it to as close to 0 as we possibly can. Once we've done that, effectively we can render it out, and I'll just scrub through it to show you what it would look like. And as you can see, she is doing what she needs to do with the yoga, and the bushes are there and the ground is there, but the yoga text is all masked through. So as you can see, just using a matte instead of using a mask means we're not having to do all that fiddly drawing around. It doesn't work in every instance, obviously. I'm not going to purport that this works every single time. There are caveats, and both mask and matte have their own sort of uses depending on what you're doing. But if you can get away with using a matte, use a matte, because it is literally going to save you hours of work for just a really short, quick thing that you can do. And get a similar effect. As I say, the caveats are they work best. Mattes kind of work best with high contrast or higher contrast video, as opposed to a mask which is drawn around, so that's irrelevant. But the positive side of it is a matte will stay where it is. It's relevant not to a particular layer, it's relevant to itself. So if you matte something out, whether you move clips behind it or around, it will stay in that one place. Whereas with a mask, you'd need to keyframe it, so on and so forth. But that aside from it, it is an absolutely amazing technique and a great tool to have in your toolkit. Hope you did find this useful. Hope you can put it to some use, even in lockdown. If it's just practicing, get it out there. I hope you're all staying safe and you're doing what you're being told to do, which is stay at home. Save people's lives by being at home and not sort of passing the virus around. And I will see you guys on the flip side. Peace!